This is one useless fact from every main mission in GTA 5. Let's go. In the prologue, Michael's phone is made by a company called Cell Tower, which, from the looks of the phone, it may be a knockoff of Nokia. The company even still has a headquarters that you can find in Los Santos, despite none of the characters using their phones anymore. In Franklin and Lamar, it's technically considered canon that Franklin chooses the Obey 9F because that is the car he's seen driving in the trailer. When going to repossess the motorcycle for Simeon in Repossession, Franklin and Lamar will encounter a drunk dude that calls them Zaffo agents. In case you aren't aware, Lord Zaffo is the unseen alien leader mentioned a few times throughout the game. He's referenced a couple times by Ron on his radio show,
at the alien Lord Zaffo and how his reign on Earth led to the development of human agriculture and at food additives.
But the same person they run into in Repossession can also be found later in the mission Eye in the Sky talking about Lord Zaffo once again.
Zaffo! Zaffo! Other glass! Other glass!
In early development, Franklin was supposed to climb the vines on the side of Michael's house in order to break in during the mission Complications. At some point in development, this was later changed to him climbing on top of his truck first, however an animation for this cut feature can still be found. After Amanda's car breaks down chasing the boat in Father Son, there is a scripted prison bus that drives by every time you play this mission. This is weird because for some reason, this is the only prison bus that can ever be found driving on the road, and you never end up needing one for the campaign. So why they decided to make this a scripted event isn't really known. In the mission Marriage Counseling, after Michael and Franklin tear down the house, the tennis coach will call Michael and say,
Mr. DeSanta, what the hell? That's not my house!
Bullshit.
And while the house they pulled down wasn't actually the tennis coach's, it is most likely that the house across the street is, as you can find a bunch of tennis equipment scattered around the property. When Michael and Jimmy head to the beach to go for a bike ride during the mission Daddy's Little Girl, the guy that Michael rents bikes from is wearing a shirt that has John Marston from Red Dead Redemption on it. There's a scripted scene where Chop will, get freaky with another dog during the mission Chop, but as messed up as it might be, there's actually a speedrun strat where you can just shoot the dog before Chomp gets there to completely skip this sequence. In the mission Friend Request, the small cutscene outside Lester's house when Michael gives him the finger can actually be seen on Lester's promotional art for GTA 5. In the mission The Long Stretch, originally it was supposed to be Franklin who took out D and not Stretch.
Hey, I hated that they took me from killing dudes. Remember, I killed him at first, and they gave him the kill mode. I blew his off at first.
Yeah, you did.
This was changed at some point, however, most likely as a reason for Lamar to have some sort of trust in Stretch, but this ends up going wrong as Lamar ends up getting set up by him in various ways throughout the campaign. In the mission Casing the Jewel Store, Lester not only vaguely mentions Nico Bellic, but also vaguely mentions working with our online character as well.
Irish crazies, they mostly just disappeared. That crew from the south, they all went down. There was an Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City, but he went quiet.
All right. Well, we're gonna need a crew. You got any contacts in LS or not?
I've been working with someone, but they're too unpredictable. I'll have to reach out to some other guys.
After the jewel store job, Vangelico's stock will plummet, which doesn't really make any sense, assuming that this is a chain of jewelry stores and not a standalone business. When we first meet Trevor and he ends up killing Johnny Klebitz in Mr. Phillips, Johnny's jacket says Vice President on it. This is a massive oversight from Rockstar because Johnny became the actual president of the Lost MC during the Lost and Damned DLC for GTA 4. In the beginning cutscene of the mission Trevor Phillips Industries, Trevor stops a bar fight and smashes the head of one of the two dudes who are fighting. The dude who ends up winning the fight, however, is actually Joseph from the Civil Border Patrol missions. After Nervous Ron, Bleeder Post will report that the shooting took place at Mackenzie Airfield when it actually took place at Sandy Shores Airfield. Even though you clearly just blew up the O'Neill's farm in the mission Crystal Maze, if you return after the mission, the house will still be completely intact as if the mission never took place. In the mission Friends Reunited, the scene where Trevor stops on the side of the road to overlook Los Santos while thinking about Michael was actually nominated for Most Memorable Moment in the 2013 Good Game Awards. In the mission Fame or Shame, right before Trevor arrives for the first time, Michael is talking to the yoga instructor when he says,
Nah, go fuck yourself.
Michael!
This line was actually improvised by Ned Luke when filming and was a friendly jab towards his actual wife, who is indeed a yoga instructor.
My wife's a yoga instructor. I think my favorite line was when Fabian says, Namaste, and I say, yeah, Nama, go fuck yourself. Not because I want to say that to my wife, because I don't. I love my wife. She's unbelievable, but that just...
In the mission Dead Man Walking, no matter what outfit you have on when you start the mission, Michael will always wake up wearing the suit pants that he would be wearing if you had never changed the outfit. In the mission Three's Company, there's a glitch while rappelling as Michael where if you keep firing the AP pistol, you can infinitely fly backwards and even through the building. By the Book, which is the mission where you torture Mr. K, was seen as so controversial and grotesque that it was banned from Japanese versions of the game. At the start of the mission, Did Somebody Say Yoga? The show Michael is watching at the beginning of the mission was originally from LA Noire. When leaving Grove Street after the drug deal gone wrong in Hood Safari, you can find 3 dudes riding bikes away from the shooting, which is a clear reference to the intro mission of GTA San Andreas. In the mission Scouting the Port, at the end of the mission, Trevor can actually call the hospital to find out that Lester is there for spinal problems, which is why he doesn't help out with the heist.
The Cofield Center for Spinal Research at Mount Zona.
I'm looking for Lester Crest.
Yeah, I've got his phone. Mr. Crest is taking a nap right now. He's going through a bit of a rough patch. If you'd like to know our visiting hours...
No, that's fine. He ain't much use to me anyway.
During the Merryweather heist, it's believed that the freighter option of this heist is considered canon as well, as it can be seen in the trailer. In the mission Blitzplay, the slow motion scene of Franklin ramming into the armored truck with a tow truck is an obvious nod to the movie Heat, where a very similar sequence occurs. When you first show up to the club to fight Rocco and bring him back to the studio in the mission Mr. Richards, 2 workers can be heard talking about how Rocco would burn the club down to collect insurance money. This is a callback to how Rocco wanted to do the same for Hercules and Masonette 9 in the Ballad of Gay Tony DLC. In the mission I Fought the Law, in early development, Trevor was supposed to toss one of the drivers off the bridge instead of just leaving them on the side of the road. This was eventually changed sometime during development, however, an in-game bleat describing this can still be found after the mission. At the beginning of Eye in the Sky, Trevor gets mad at the LSPD pilot for racially profiling Franklin after he gets scanned from the helicopter.
You arrested my African-American friend for a minor infraction? The LSPD disgusts me! It's not me. I mean, there's some bad apples in the department, but any accusation of a racist culture, you wanna bullshit me? You can bullshit the freeway!
If you then switch to Trevor right as the mission finishes, he can be seen piloting the chopper now and says,
I hope it was a soft landing!
While the scene of Trevor shoving the pilot out of the chopper can't actually be seen in-game, it can be seen in the trailer. Caída Libre means free fall in Spanish, which obviously refers to the plane falling from the sky. But Free Fall was also a mission in GTA San Andreas that featured a very similar plane and sequence to the one in GTA 5. If you explore around the movie studio a little bit before stealing the JB700 in the mission Deep Inside, you can find 2 actors filming a scene for the movie Meltdown that Michael helps produce. And when the movie comes out, you can see the exact scene that they were filming on the green screen. Minor Turbulence is almost an exact copy of the mission Stowaway from GTA San Andreas. CJ enters a plane from the ramp at the back, takes out all of the guards, and then escapes while the plane is going down. In the Politoscore setup, the scene where Michael crashes out saying,
A few weeks ago, I was happily retired, sulking by my swimming pool.
Originally had Franklin present as well when we saw him in the trailer. Whether the game went through a story change or they did that on purpose to not give away spoilers isn't really known. A lot of people know this already, but in the mission Predator, Sasquatch can be seen when using the thermal sight as Michael. But, as a little bonus fact that I didn't know about, after the last O'Neill brother is caught, he says the same line as the actual Sasquatch that you find at the end of the campaign.
I'm the last of my kind! I just shot your ass and stopped.
I'm the last of my kind.
Yeah, evolution is a bitch.
During the Polito score, in early development the crew was supposed to get away from the police using a tank instead of a bulldozer. The train in Derailed is a total of 40 cars long, which is 4 times longer than any other trains you will regularly find throughout the map. In the mission Monkey Business, if you do as Dave says and keep the beginning of the mission non-lethal, you obviously won't kill any scientists. However, no matter what you do, the local news will still report it as many scientists being killed. In the mission Hang 10, despite moving his safe house to the Vanilla Unicorn after doing whatever it is he does in Floyd and Deborah's apartment, Trevor will still call you and get annoyed if Michael or Franklin bombard their apartment.
Stop shooting up my home!
When you transition to Michael driving down the road in North Yankton during the mission Bury the Hatchet, he will drive past the Ludendorff sign that the getaway driver was hiding behind in the prologue 9 years earlier, and the tire marks from the getaway car can still be seen after all this time. On the mission Pac-Man, the conversation between Trevor, Lamar, and Franklin confirms that canonically the drive from Los Santos to Paleto Bay takes about 4 hours in-game.
How far? This thing? About 4 hours. Shit, it's your operation, Slick.
When trying to locate Michael in the mission Fresh Meat, every time you drive by a train crossing, it triggers a train to go by, most likely coded as a way to stall time. The mission title, The Ballad of Rocco, is a clever reference to the Ballad of Gay Tony, which Rocco Pelosi featured as one of the main antagonists. In the mission Cleaning Out the Bureau, there's a calendar in the janitor's apartment that has a clearly marked date of September 17th, 2013, and many people will recognize this date as the release for GTA 5. When Michael cuts off the ponytail of Laszlo during the mission Family Reunited, this was foreshadowed by Trevor in the mission Fame or Shame when he says,
"You proved your point."
This is your daughter. You should be wanting to rip the fucking ponytail off the back of this guy's head.
During the Bureau raid, if you take the roof entry and slow down frame by frame on the files on the computer, the files that pop up are actually just the same 11 files over and over again. After trailing Molly to the airport in the mission Legal Trouble, using any of the vending machines even after Molly has been sucked up into the plane will instantly trigger a mission fail and will even say Molly escaped despite her already being dead. During the mission The Wrap-Up, Trevor shows up to the shootout to save Michael from a Merryweather Buzzard, and that helicopter will then crash into the fountain below. However, unlike the O'Neill's farm, this helicopter will then be permanently crashed into the fountain for the rest of the game. During the mission Lamar Down, when Franklin spots Lamar with his binoculars after being captured, he's clearly wearing a green shirt and black pants, but when you locate him, he's now wearing a black shirt and khaki pants. When Michael enters the home to save his family in the mission Meltdown, it looks like Amanda is being held down by one of the Merryweather guards. But if you look closely, she's actually trying to hit him with a shoe that falls after the guard is shot. During the subtle approach for the big score, the tire on the truck behind Michael has a flat tire, and then the next time it's visible, the tires have already been fixed, meaning that 2 guys changed 8 truck tires in less than 1 minute, rivaling a goddamn F1 team. Unless that F1 team happens to be Ferrari. If you know, you know. The mission name for Something Sensible is a reference to when Steve Haynes talks to Franklin at the end of Lamar Down. Franklin asks Steve,
"Man, what the fuck y'all want me to do? Kill the president? Fuck his wife or something? Or invade some fucking country?"
No, something more sensible.
The quote that Franklin says to Lamar at the end of the mission The Time's Come is the same quote that Michael says to Franklin at the end of the mission Fresh Meat, where, ironically, Franklin saves Michael's life.
Fuck, man, you know how it is, homie. You just start running and shit, and all of a sudden your legs give and you just can't run no more.
Look, you wake up one day and your legs, they just give. You just can't run anymore.
And finally, the third way is the only mission in GTA history where every single antagonist of the story is killed off in one single mission. Thank you guys so much for watching this useless video, and big thanks to both Reddit and the GTA Wiki for helping me with some of these cool facts. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.